Alright, so I'm working on the power steering unit right now. As you can see, I've taken this hose off here. Basically, you do is squeeze the clamp with some pliers and you pop it right off. That's the same hose. I just covered the hose with some paper towels so it doesn't get junk in. This one has to be covered. The paper towel fell in. So the power steering unit, that thing here is not the unit but the canister. Canister was here, right on the top, attached by 2 bolts. They go in that bracket there. Sorry I don't film every part of the process because I don't have time for it. Alright, so I've taken this off, I drain it to the bucket, and then I've taken this thing off. Put it in shade here. Alright, so it does have a cap that screws on here, and it does have an inside filter, which I knew it would. I forgot about it. It's kind of like one of those small oil filters, but it has things on the top. That's where the fluid exhausts out, I guess. Well, to take this cap off, I had to, basically it was pretty tight on there. Alright, so it was like this, and I had to bolt it back in, and I've used my filter pliers for taking the cap off. That's the tool I've used for taking off the cap off of it. Basically, when it was attached in the truck, it's hard with one hand, but we'll try it. I'll just grab it. So just grab it like this and turn it counterclockwise. When it's attached with these 2 bolts, these 2 bolts here are attached. I would just turn it counterclockwise, and it would not go for some time. That would go, but be careful, don't break it. Another option would be to heat up the actual lid. Don't torch it, don't melt it, just heat it up lightly. And do the same thing, it will give up easier because of the heat. Now I just have to take the filter out. Well, you're supposed to replace it. I don't know if I'll do it or not because I don't have any other filters right now. I might just have to put it back and replace it later down the road, but I have to replace the actual fluid because before I added my power steering fluid, everything was fine. Alright, to actually flush the system, I end up leaving the filter inside because I don't have another one to replace it with. So I'll just leave it there for now. I'll replace it down the road when I get one. What I did is I plugged up this bottom hole with a finger from the glove. I know it looks weird. Anyways, so I'm gonna fill this up with oil. I'll mount it back on the truck, fill it up with oil, and I'll try to crank the truck. I do not really recommend doing it, but I don't have any other option right now, so I'll do that. You could probably try to lift the truck up. The best way is to lift the truck up, lift the front wheels up in the air, put it on stands if you have an option, and move the steering back and forth. This way you're gonna get oil coming out from this pipe right here, like it does right now. I moved the steering a little bit, see it's still dripping. This way when you move it back and forth without the motor, you're not gonna burn the pump up. I'll try to crank the motor. I'll fill it up as much as I can, crank the motor, let the fluid, and once it's gonna start coming out clear, I'll know I'm doing good things. So, basically I flush the system out. But like I said, I don't recommend doing it. Last resort only. Best way is to lift it up on the jack stands. The points will be right there. Right where the lift springs are. That little bar there, frame. You lift it up, you get the tires up in the air, and you just rotate the wheel left and forth, left and right, back and forth, and basically that's how you're gonna drain all the fluid from there. Because the pump is gonna start working. Well, the pump, but the power steering itself, it's gonna start pushing liquid through. So you could do it this way or my way, but like I said, I don't guarantee, you know, I can't really guarantee the pump is going to work after that. That's the first thing. The second thing is, you know, it's just a last resort because I don't have an option of blocking this road here now and just doing it here, you know, lifting the thing up and so on. Don't run the motor on it, just crank it and shut it down. That's what it is on the oil. So let me fill this up with oil, mount it back up, and let's do it. Where it's back on, the bolts are in. These are the bolts. That's what it looks like. I didn't put the cap on yet because I'll be putting motor oil in there. I'm just gonna put this clamp back on, slide it right up the pipe. Hope it can focus here. Okay. Yeah, you can kind of see where it was. Just let it rest there. So, and once again, this hose goes here. That's our drain. You know, you could put clamps, that doesn't matter. It's just a siphon now. So, see the bottom is still plugged up. That right there. Gotta get my old phone oily now. So I'll put just fluid in there now and try to crank the motor a little bit. And yeah, these are the bolts. I don't know if you've seen them. They're loose, it's still kind of shaky. So just put some oil in there. I'll try and crank it up. Alright, so it's been a gallon. I went through the system. Don't let this go dry. See, there's still some oil in there because I don't want any air in the system. So that's, well, we got a good 2 gallons in there. This is the bottle from the oil is done. Okay, so now we're gonna put the cap on it. It looks clean still. It's fine. The filter is still here, so we'll put a cap on the thing and connect the hoses back up. And I'll run the system, see if it gets darker. Actually, I'll not put the cap on it yet. I want to see how it runs. Alright, this was easy because, see this? It's barely flowing because of the filter. There's a restriction in the system, and this is a backup pipe, so, and right now there's nothing going to it, so just put it on and put the clamps on. Alright, so we're back in business with this 15W40 in here. Clamps are on. Honestly, focus here, you can see it. This one here, on the bottom, this one here, I kind of wiped off a little bit here, so it looks semi good. The oil is really dirty looking. I don't know why. The Walmart oil was much cleaner, but whatever. Let's run it. What I'll do, I'll just run it a couple times just for the air to get out. Just a couple times. One. That's what it looks like. I'm in a max cold right now. Probably go down. Let's put a cap on it. Yeah, I'll spray some WD-40 on the cap. Just on the threads. So that's just for the better seal kind of thing, but then it's easier to take off later because I'm gonna have to change the filter. Yeah, that's good enough. Just roll it on.